Support comes from Hampton Roads Community Foundation, partnering with donors from all walks of life to improve southeastern Virginia through grants, scholarships, and leadership initiatives. Learn more at hamptonroadscf.org.
Hello, everyone. I'm Barbara Hamley. May is Motorcycle Safety Month, so we decided to explore the world of African American motorcycle enthusiasts. The oldest black motorcycle clubs are the East Bay Dragons, La Defiant Ones, and Outcast MC. All started in 1969 and are the oldest surviving all-black motorcycle clubs, and members are required to ride only American-made motorcycles. The largest African-American motorcycle club is the National Association of Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers, with more than 120 chapters, including right here in Hampton Roads. Up next on Another View, we talk with two bikers about their love of this mode of transportation. Another View will be right back after this news from NPR and WHRO News.
Discussing today's topics from an African American perspective, this is Another View.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Another View. I'm Barbara Hamley. Just want to say a warm welcome to Sienna Morales and Nick McNamara. They're both new reporters with WHRO News. This is their first week here, and they're observing our show today. So welcome aboard, you guys. So happy to have you. It looks like so much fun. A gaggle of motorcycle enthusiasts riding together down the highway in formation. Men and women having a good time. But there can be danger on the road, so since May is Motorcycle Safety Month, we decided to talk to some African-American bikers about their love of the open road on their bikes. Please welcome to Another View, Terry Spoon with a Spoon. He is the president of the Hampton Roads chapter of the National Association of Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers. Hey, Spoon, how are you?
I'm fine. Good afternoon.
Good. I'm going to call you guys by your handles during the show, right? Okay.
Sounds good.
And Janice Alexander, or Lady J, who rides a magnificent three-wheeler at the tender age of 79. You go, girl.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Good afternoon.
How are you? Thanks.
I'm doing well.
Thanks so much for joining. So my first question is, did you guys ride your bikes here?
Not today.
No. But I will be riding right after the show. I'll go home and I change. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to have helmet here.
There you go. There you go. So I'm curious about your stories, like what got you into riding. And Janice, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
Excuse me, Lady J.
Okay, that's quite all right. Well, I've only been riding for about 12 years, so I guess I'm considered a late bloomer. My daughter, Harley Girl, Keisha is her name, but her label is Harley Girl, was riding, and I watched her ride, and I said to myself, I want to do that. So I started off with a trike in 2012, and to see if I really, enjoyed the sport, and I never looked back. So when I retired in 2014, I bought myself a new Harley.
Wow.
And I just call it wind therapy. Love it, love it, love it.
So, and did you start with the trike because you thought that might be safer, or?
Well, actually, I did start with the trike, but I really wanted twos. I had already, I think I went to Craigslist or something, and I met up with this guy, and he had twos. He was going to sell a used bike, and I was going to take the class, which I did. But during the time, I had lost several family members, and I felt, I don't know, maybe I wasn't mentally ready for this class. So I took the class right after all of that, and I wasn't steady on the twos. So I just said, well, I took a class, and I wasn't steady on the twos. So I just said, well, maybe this isn't for me. So I told my daughter, how disappointed I was in myself, because normally I don't give up on things. And she says, well, Mother, why don't you go and look at the scooters? And I thought, ew. A scooter. I know I'm old, but I wasn't quite ready for a scooter. But I said, okay. So I went to a bike shop that she had directed me to look at the scooters. And I saw the Spider. And I'm like, what is that? I'm like, I really like that. It's so cute. So I ended up buying a used Spider. And as I
And
said,
the rest is history,
the
as
rest
they
is
say,
history.
right?
It's wind therapy from there on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Spoon, what got you started?
Just a love for two wheels. Been doing it for about 40 years.
Wow.
Started when I was like 15. I always enjoyed working on things, and I got my hands on a little mini bike, and I rebuilt it, and that was my start. And been riding some type of two wheels ever since.
Oh my goodness! And so, and when you're riding, both of you, when you're riding, what does it for you? I mean, why is that so special to you, Spoon?
It's the open road feeling. I mean, you're just out there, the wind, the scenery, the camaraderie that goes
Exactly.
with it. It's just the ride.
It's a sense of freedom.
Yes.
It's just like you said, it's open space. You have your music on. It's just this, I don't know. I feel like a teenager.
It's one of those things you got to do it.
You just have to do it. You got to
Exactly.
do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So you're the president of the Hampton Roads chapter of the Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers, National Association of Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers. And that is the largest African-American group of bikers in the country. You got 120 chapters, including overseas. Isn't that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
Hawaii and Korea.
Because you guys had your conference here a couple of years ago, and we broadcast live from that conference. So that was very cool to learn about it. Tell me about the Hampton Roads chapter.
The Hampton Roads chapter has been around since 2004, so we've been around 20 years. Currently, we have 23 active members. We have 9 associate members. We do a lot of things in the community as far as the food bank on the peninsula, the Her Shelter locally. We do a lot of presentations at schools, at libraries, churches. We also do a lot of food drives at the local grocery stores, whether it be Lido's, Farm Fresh. We give out scholarships to deserving seniors. And we just try to make our presence known in the community and give back and promote safe motorcycle riding.
And public service is really, really important to your
Yes.
group, isn't it?
Yes,
And to the national organization as a whole.
that's right.
What did you have to go through to become a chapter? Is there an initiation? Is there
a chapter?
something you have to do?
Becoming a chapter and becoming a member in the chapter.
Okay.
The chapter is a little bit more in detail. You have to have a certain amount of members. You have to have a board with your president, vice president, and you have to submit that to your local frontier, which in turn submit that to your national. And once you meet all the requirements of mileage, of having the proper members, and then they grant you that permission to become a actual chapter.
And the frontiers that's how they divide up the country.
That's right.
In terms of the chapters that belong to which chapter. How do you become a member of the Hampton Roads chapter?
The biggest thing is to come and hang around, see what we do. We want to be able to see if you fit us and we fit you. We want to make sure that everybody is on the same playing field. But that's typically a hang around period of 8 to 9 months. After you hang around for a while, you put on a presentation about the history of the Buffalo Soldiers, because that's what we're about. So we want to make sure that you know what the history is when it concerns Buffalo Soldiers. And you have to ride some miles because we are a riding club. So kind of one of your last feats that you have to do is you have to ride 5,000 miles within that 9 to 12 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so once you ride those 5,000 miles and you've done all the community service and did your presentation, and we put a vote up.
Then you get to be voted on.
Then you get to be
Absolutely.
voted on. But
So for those who may not know the history of the Buffalo Soldiers, why is that the name of your organization, and what's the history behind that?
the history behind that is, and in order to say that, I got to go to our actual founder, which is Kenneth Dreammaker Thomas, which started Buffalo Soldiers back in 1993. And he had a vision of having a positive light on African Americans, and he used motorcycles to be able to do that. And with the history of the Buffalo Soldiers and what they have accomplished for African Americans, he chose that name. And that's kind of the story of how we got to where we are.
So what is the difference between your organization and what they call one percenters or outlaw clubs. What's the difference between the two?
The biggest thing is we don't claim anything. We just some people that love to ride bikes. That's it.
Okay.
There is no disrespect there. There's no there's a mutual understanding that we claim no territory. We don't do anything of that nature. We just want good people that want to give back to the community and do it safely on our motorcycle. That's it.
Now, Lady J, you're an associate member?
Correct.
Is that correct? So what does that mean?
Okay, that means that I don't have voting privileges in terms of, voting for the president, vice president, so forth and so on. But I do everything else that,
So are you still in the hang around period?
Are you kidding me? I hung around so much and rode so much that they're going to make me an honorary member before I actually became an associate. And I came in under my daughter, Harley Girl, who was a full patch member of the Hampton Roads Club. And she brought me in finally because, I don't know, I guess I looked sad or something. I don't know. I'm only kidding. I just rode with them so much. And again, I hung around with them so much. And that's where I really got my riding skills, riding with this group. I mean, they went, I went too.
Wow.
So everywhere.
757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240 are the numbers to call to join our conversation. Are you a rider? Are you a member of the Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers? Give us a call. Tell us about your story. 757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. So how do you decide what's the right bike for you? Spoon.
Oh, there's a lot of things. Your riding ability, your size, because bikes can run in as much as 800 pounds, 1,000 pounds. So you want to make sure that you can balance that bike, hold that bike.
Wow.
So there's a lot of safety things that you think about when you start choosing your bike. Just like Lady J said, when she didn't feel comfortable on 2 wheels, so she went to 3 wheels, and that kind of depends on the rider. You have to kind of try it and see, or if you just feel that you're not that person to be on 2s and you want to go to 3s, then that's absolutely fine.
And you guys don't think threes are cheating?
Excuse me?
That's why I looked at your face, Lady J.
No way, Jose.
The 3s
Not
do
at
get
all.
talked about. They get talked about.
But we hold our own. Trust
do.
me. But I tell you one thing: when you're on 3s, you get asked to be ridden a lot. And I work with special needs kids as well. So a lot of times I'll go to their birthday parties or whatever with my bike, and they take pictures on the bike or whatever. Or if their parents allow them, throw a little helmet on and kind of ride them around the block. But you do. I mean, I've been in parades and, with the soldiers and their kids or teenagers or whatever on the side and saying, "Can I ride on your bike?" And I remember a funny story once. I said, "Yeah, hop on the back because you're going very slow." So I gave him a helmet and we were riding in the parade and we took a picture and he called his mom or the dad. He called his father and he said, "Hey, here's a picture." And he said, "What are you doing on that bike? You're not even supposed to be at the parade." Delete the picture.
He told on himself. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it is Motorcycle Safety Month. So when you're riding, Spoon, what is the biggest fear or concern that motorcyclists have versus the 4 wheels versus motor?
The fact that we're not always seen, whether it be by 4-wheel cars or 18-wheelers, that's the biggest concern, is that we're visible. We want to make sure that we're seen. So that's what we try to make sure, that we don't stay in blind spots or things of that nature. Just make sure that the automobiles see us. That's our biggest concern.
That's the biggest.
Another
biggest
thing
concern.
is having loud pipes.
Yeah, most of us got loud pipes on our bikes, so they
Right,
kind of
they
hear us.
Yeah, because they hear, you can kind of hear you guys coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Between that and road debris, tractor trailer tires that blow, and you see that stuff in the street a lot. So those are some of your big things.
Potholes?
Potholes, yeah, you can have that. But those are like the main 3 things that we worry about when we're riding.
Okay. So as I'm riding, or not riding bikes, but in a car, and I see the formation coming, right? I never know. Are we supposed to stay behind you, pass you, ride with you?
Well,
And we never know what to do.
Well, we're normally going fast enough that you might want to just move out the way and let us go by.
Oh, you haven't seen me drive.
Yeah. So we're trying to get out of your way too. So we just trying to get on down the road. But yeah, it's not a thing that I can say you should do this or should do that. But the thing with formations, and I know four-wheelers not thinking about that, we're long. You know, most of the times we're long, so it takes a lot of space for us to be able to change lanes, get off exits, things of that nature. So we really try to stay in the hammer lane most of the time, and we're moving because if we're in the right lane, you got exit traffic that coming over that won't give us the courtesy to give by. They try to cut in on us, so we try to stay in the left lane and keep it moving so we can stay together.
So when you're riding, if you have more novice riders, are they like in the middle so that the more experienced ones, they're all the way in the back?
Yeah, we're going to put them in the back.
Really? Why?
Because they're novice.
But if they're
not used to how we riding. They're not used to probably our style of riding because every club rides different. Every chapter rides different. So we put them in the back, and we have what we call a road captain that's generally in the back, and he pay attention to what they're doing back there.
Oh, you're laughing, Lady
I'm
J.
laughing because when I first started riding with them, I didn't want to ride in the back. I want to ride in the front, or I want to ride in the middle with everyone else. And I did. So finally they just gave up.
They just
okay.
gave up. So you took lessons. Where did you go, and what was that like? What was your experience?
I took my lessons at Harley Davidson in Portsmouth.
Okay.
And they had a trike class there. I went online to find out where it was going to be held. So I took my lessons there, and it's normally a 3-day class. You go in on a Friday, and it's written and, book work, and then you're actually out on the bikes. They furnish the bikes for you. And so you're out on the bikes on like all day on Saturday and most of Sunday, and you take your test on Sunday. So you're really ready. So you're ready. Yeah.
So after 3 days, did you felt comfortable enough to ride on your own?
Oh, are you kidding me? I felt comfortable because when I got my bike, I rode the back roads with my daughter.
Oh, and, so you cheated. Okay.
Well, a little bit, but I already knew how to ride, drive manual sticks. So that I was kind of comfortable with that. I just had to learn like the gears and, how to handle it on a bike rather than a car. But so I was already really comfortable, but normally I guess that's not the norm for most people, but I'm not most people.
How do you balance it?
How do you balance it?
Yeah. I always wondered. I mean, because I've ridden on bikes with people before, and they don't. I always would worry. Am I supposed to lean? Am I supposed to sit straight?
Well, okay. From that aspect, you lean when they lean. If they go to the right, you lean to the right. You don't want to throw the balance off to go the opposite way. Right. But it's really like riding a regular bicycle when it comes to balance. It's really no difference. I mean, slow speeds. Making turns is a little bit more difficult for some riders. We have been riding just like on a bicycle. If you're running slow, it's harder to make that turn versus if you're going a little bit faster. But as long as you lean with your rider, then you're good. If you don't, you can throw them off.
Then you can throw them off. Absolutely. Let's see. Let's go to the phone lines. Cassandra joins us from Portsmouth. Hi, Cassandra. You're on the air.
Hi.
Hi.
Everyone.
Hi.
I am Cassandra, and my riding name is Miss Preacher.
Oh, yes. Hi. How are you?
And hi, darling. How are you?
I'm well,
hi,
thanks.
Spoon. How are you?
Good.
And how long have you been riding, Miss Preacher?
I've been riding since 2011. I was a late bloomer as well. I got my daughter off to college, and then I decided to do me.
Okay.
And why motorcycles? What was it about it that drew you?
I actually would see, even as a teenager, would see people on a motorcycle, the guys mainly, and they would go past, and I'd be like, "Get it, boy!" And then one day I saw that, and they was taking off their helmet, and it was a female, and I said, "I want to ride."
Oh, wow. So are you a member of the Buffalo Soldiers?
No, ma'am. I'm not a member of the Buffalo Soldiers. I've ridden with them. That's how they know me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I was with a club, and 2 years ago I had to depart from the club. Personal reasons for myself, not the club itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I just been riding with other people and also solo. So it's what they would consider an independent
rider. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for calling in, Cassandra. Ms. Preacher, excuse me. We appreciate the phone call. How do you get your names? How'd you get your name, Lady J?
I think I don't know. I think some of the people that I rode with kind of gave me that name. We were trying to come up with something. So, and J for Janice, and of course, very much a lady. So just went together.
And Spoon. Well, is it strictly from Witherspoon, or was there something else?
Yeah, strictly Witherspoon. From military, they call me Spoon, and that's just stuck with me ever since.
Okay. And you said that a lot of the members are retired military and law enforcement.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So what else do you all have in common besides? So you have your professions and the bike. I mean, that's the big draw.
Yes.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So when new people decide that they want to ride, or I guess my question is, what should you consider as you're thinking about perhaps becoming a rider?
Well, a rider with us, it's your mindset. We want somebody that thinks like we do, want to do some of the things that we do, want to carry themselves a certain way. Like I said, the history is very important to us. So we want to make sure that you know the history, make sure that you represent that history well when you're in your everyday life. Because when you put your colors on, you're speaking for a whole nation of Buffalo Soldiers. So we want the mindset to be clear.
Right. Mm-hmm. And Janice, from your perspective, what else should they be considering or thinking about?
I don't know. I think, the safety factor is a biggie, of course. And again, the type of bike that they want to ride, the group of people they want to ride with, not necessarily just the Buffalo Soldiers, but there are a lot of great groups out there. I've ridden with Women in the Wind, all female groups. I mean, I ride with them all, with different ones. So it's, it depends on, like I said, the people that you hang with or that you want to be with and what you want to represent.
757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240 are the numbers to call. Are you a rider, or are you thinking about becoming a motorcycle rider? Give us a call and let's talk about it. Carolyn joins us from Suffolk. Hi, Carolyn. You're on the air.
Hello. How are you?
Okay. How are you?
I'm good. So my story is I'm a rider for 8 years. I'm kind of a late bloomer also. And hello, Janice, and I rode with Janice.
Hi. Yes, that's right. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So what I wanted to share is the fascination of riding is that you see things that you don't see when you're in the car.
True.
You smell things, good and bad, that you don't smell when you're in the car. It is just like you're free. It's almost like you're kind of I would say, in heaven.
Exhilarating.
Wow.
Riding around, looking at the world. I mean, it is really fascinating.
So how far have you ridden? Do you ride long distances?
The Eastern Shore, not that far. Eastern Shore, Richmond, not that far yet. My next goal is to be a little further.
Okay.
Riding a little further. So that's what I'm working on now. But
come ride with me.
You got an invitation here. She said, come ride with her.
I do. I've ridden in other groups, 7 cities, just about any group or not group.
Gotcha.
Sometimes, people get together that ride.
Okay.
It's all fun. Really fun.
Thank you so much for the call. We really appreciate it. So what is the allure of the group? Why, what's the difference between riding solo and riding in a group?
The stories.
The
things that happen when you're riding. You could have a breakdown on a motorcycle and you can make it fun. So it's just the ride, the friendship, the fellowship, here again, back to the mindset that we all just love riding. So the stories that you make on the road, they're just unbelievable.
So can you share a story with us?
I mean,
this is a daytime talk show.
yeah. I can give you a trip and
Okay.
not so much as a direct story. But
Okay.
in 2018, 8 of us took out on a 14-day trip to California.
You rode from here
Yeah.
to all the way across the country.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And we did a lot of sightseeing, the Badlands, the Four Corners, Pikes Peak, just a lot of stuff. And that's what I mean when I say the stories. I mean, we got into rain, we got into cold weather, we got into mountains, we got into a little bit of everything. But at the end of the day, it was one of the best rides I've ever had. So when you ride that far with 8 people and getting on your bike every single day riding, you gotta love it. So that's the thing for me, just the things that we see and do when we're out there.
If you're just joining us, we're talking about African American motorcycle clubs and Motorcycle Safety Month with Terry Witherspoon, or Spoon, president of the Hampton Roads chapter of the National Association of Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers, and Janice Alexander, or Lady J, a female biker who rides a very impressive 3-wheel bike. 757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. Donna joins us from Virginia Beach. Hi, Donna. You're on the air.
Hey, I just have a question regarding safety on the motorcycle. Sometimes you'll be driving down the interstate, and especially in the summertime, and you'll see motorcyclists that will do the lane splitting, meaning they're riding they'll go between the vehicles down the highway to try to get further up the line of stop traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that's frowned upon within the group?
Oh, we definitely don't do that. If you ever see a Buffalo Soldier do that, contact the website and let me know. But we definitely don't do any lane splitting.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
That's dangerous.
That's
yes.
very
We definitely
dangerous.
don't do that.
I just find it very dangerous. I grew up with motorcycles. My brother rode motorcycles and that type of thing. And I see the cyclists do that, and I just think it's just so, you're just asking to be killed.
Yeah, that's a very dangerous thing to do. Donna, thanks so much for the call. We appreciate that. So when you're watching these younger, usually younger riders that I see that are on those little bikes,
Crotch
and they're
rockers.
and they're hunched over and they're zipping in and out and so forth. That's not something that you guys promote, or
Not
is
at
it?
all. Not at all. Most of us
Definitely
don't
not.
even ride crotch rockets. Most of us ride big baggers or 3-wheelers like what she has. So, but we don't promote that at all.
What's the youngest? Who's the youngest? Or what's the youngest age that you have riding with you?
That's a mirror.
Mir. So
Yeah,
what is
thank you.
he, 40?
He's probably 40.
Okay, so this is a
Yeah.
mature club.
Oh yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Grown
Yeah, we
folks.
too old to be splitting lanes and all that kind of stuff. So, no, it's a mature club. Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, 757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. So you're on a long trip or longish trip. How do you communicate with each other? If you say somebody needs to take a bio break, do you pull off? Does that person just pull off and catch up, or does everybody go, or what? How do you communicate with each other?
The technology. We either when I first started, we all had CB radios on our bikes. So since that, we went to Bluetooth. It's just your regular Bluetooth.
So
on
the
your
regular
helmet.
so in your
Yes.
head, it's all in your
It's
helmet.
all in your headset,
Yes.
so we can pair headsets together. If not, we have hand signals that we can do. Like I said, we have a tail gunner in the back that can always come up to the front and say, hey, look, we need to pull over or something if for whatever reason the headset isn't working. But that's the way that we communicate.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And that's also where the radio is. Is that right? Is that where your music is coming from too? Within your helmet?
Well, your Bluetooth or within your helmet.
Yeah, you can have it in your helmet or you can have it in your external speakers coming out that way as well. So
and you can actually hear it with wind and everything?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because your helmet is really rather close to, it's tight against your head. I mean, that's for safety reasons, too.
Yeah.
Well, we were going back to, just going back a little bit, you were talking about riding in groups versus riding singular. Of course, with groups, you do have the safety, of other people. But I remember my first road trip by myself. I was going to New Jersey to a wedding. My daughter was going to meet me like 2 days later. So I rode up and I stayed over at a friend's house in Delaware. And, we went to breakfast the next morning. I rode her on the back because she had never ridden before. Everything was cool. And then I left her and was on my way to Jersey, which is where my final destination. And I stopped at a friend's house for dinner. And I went to get on my bike after dinner to go to my final destination. And I couldn't start my bike because I lost the key somewhere in Delaware.
Uh-oh.
So luckily, my husband had given me some cash that I had in my vest so I could get gas. And I'm glad I didn't stop to get the gas on the way because I started to. And I thought, well, I got enough to get to Jersey. So I lost the key. That was my first initial traveling by myself.
Oh my goodness.
And I didn't really panic or anything. I just kind of like laughed at myself. And I called my daughter and said, hey, because she was meeting me for the wedding.
Bring
the key when you come up. And I had to call Harley. It was after hours. And so the motorcycle places were closed. So the next morning I called Harley and they gave me a code so I could override it. And then, I could be on my merry way. But that was my first experience of riding by myself. I thought I was like hot.
Do you ride a lot, even though you both are associated with club or in the club, do you also ride a lot solo?
I don't ride a lot solo. I mostly ride with someone or with my club members.
Okay.
Yeah. Same thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time with the club when it comes to riding.
Right.
So why is public service so important? Why is that such a tenet of Buffalo Soldiers?
Like I said, it's that I go back to the mindset and the feeling of giving back, and that's what, we should, as individuals, we should give back. I mean, there's a lot of people in this world that, just need some of the service that we can provide. And it's nothing like taking that time out of your day to go and give to someone that could very well use it. So it's a big thing.
Some people say, well, all motorcycle clubs are gangs. How do you respond to that?
Oh, no, they're not all gangs. I guess sometimes it's a perception, that because we have vests on and sometimes, we don't generally change our vests. Like I've had this vest for years, so it might look a little ratted sometimes and they try to associate that with a gang and it's not, it's just the way that we ride. It's a brother sisterhood, that we just enjoy.
Some people really like the look and so forth, but it's just like with the sorority or fraternity, it's disrespectful if you try to wear their things. Is that the same way it is with motorcycle club?
Yes, your colors, your cut. It's called two different things. Your colors, your cut. That's yours. That's your sacred piece. You protect that, you keep that, you don't let people just wear it, you don't leave it unattended, things of that nature. That's yours to keep. It's a badge of honor.
Absolutely. 757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. Mark joins us from Norfolk. Hi, Mark. You're on the air.
Hey, good. Greetings to everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. Look, just fine. Just wanted to know, what is the price point these days to get into a new motorcycle?
That depends on what you want to ride.
So let's say a Harley Davidson. Let's say, for a beginner.
A beginner with a new Harley Davidson?
Maybe in the 20s.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
In the 20s.
Yeah, you're in your 20s, easy. That's easy, and that all depends on what type of bike you want. You want a bagger, you want a cruiser, you want a touring bike. It depends on what you want, but you won't get it under $20,000. I don't care what you're looking at.
Okay.
And answer your question?
What about the insurance cost?
That varies, just like with a car, based on the type of bike you get, your age, your driving record. But I really couldn't answer that. But you're probably a good $60 a month.
Yeah, about $60, $70
$80 a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, Mark. We appreciate the call. Thank you. Those bikes that have the handlebars up here.
The monkey
Yeah,
bars.
Yeah. Is that what's good? Yeah. Are they Is that comfortable?
Well, not that high, but
Since you guys can't see me while listening to the radio, I've got my arms like way up in the air. But that's what it looks like when you're seeing somebody sitting there. It looks like their arms are that high.
they're comfortable. It all depends again. Bigger, taller person can have their hands up and it doesn't bother them as much as maybe someone that's short. But when you get into what they call them ape hangers, they call them a lot of different names. But it's generally around your 12 to 14-inch bars, and
it just looks like
they work well.
So you mentioned several different types of bikes, touring bikes and so forth and so on. What's the difference, and how do you know? I mean, have you just ridden everything and then you say, okay, this is the one I really like, or do those different bikes perform differently? Is it like buying a Mercedes versus buying a Volkswagen? You know what I mean? Is it that kind of thing?
Somewhat.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhat. Your touring bikes are just what they are. They're the one with your big bags on the side, big bags on the back. The big bikes that you want to really take out. They have more comfort. You have some of your baggers that are just got the two bags on the side. It's kind of like more of I call it kind of like a kick around the neighborhood, drive back and forth to work, in town type of bike. Okay. Even though people ride them all over the place, you can ride it just as far as it just doesn't have as much storage space as a touring bike. But they all handle different. That's what I spoke about earlier about the weight. You could get a touring bike that weighs 1,000 pounds. You can get a bagger that might weigh 600 pounds. So all of that plays a part in the bike and the balance. And then you have to compensate for all of your luggage that you put on it. That affects your balance when you have a bigger bike versus a smaller bike. So all of that comes into play.
Lady J, how heavy is your bike?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask me that. I'm going to have to Google it. But it's
it
big.
Looks like, because it looks like it's
I have the top of the line, so it's big. And I have a lot of trunk space. I have double trunks as well.
Oh, wow. Let's talk to Wendell in Hampton. Hi, Wendell. You're on the air.
Hey, this is Wendell. I'm a late bloomer also.
I started something here.
I see what's happening here.
I feel real comfortable now.
I've never been. I had never been on a bike, but I always wanted to. And when I turned 72, I went to Thomas Nelson and took the course and got my license. And my wife said, "You done got old and no mind."
You're never too old.
Wendell, what is it that you love about it?
I don't know. It's just, you can't always put your finger on it, but it's a special feeling when you get out there and on the road and the wind is blowing through you. And it's just, it's something special about it. And I don't belong to, I ride with a group of fellows in my age bracket. And I've been to Kansas City. I've been to Canada. Everybody goes
Very
to Florida.
Nice.
Wow.
And last month I went to Montgomery, Alabama alone. That was on my bucket list. I wanted to
Wow.
trip alone.
Wow.
So it's a fun thing. And you meet some nice people.
You do.
You meet the greatest people in the world on the bike. Thank you for taking my call, and I'm enjoying your show.
Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Oh, my goodness. So the question came in. They want to know, what are the roles on the road? So in other words, the person that leads, what's their role versus the one that's in the back? How does that all work? And how do you guys decide what the formation looks like?
Well, in our particular chapter, and everybody does it different. Right. Typically, the president leads.
Okay.
And
so you're always out front.
Yeah, I'm always out front. And you have the wingman, which is that person that can do the same thing I'm doing if they have to. Okay. As far as directions, where we're going, what we're doing, and they also have the capability of leading if something were to go wrong. And after that, it kind of fall in. Sometimes it's by seniority. Sometimes I like to ride by this person. That person likes to ride by that person. And then we have the tail gunner that's in the back, which is typically the road captain. Okay. They're the one that, and they're the person that kind of looks over us from the back side while I'm looking from the front side.
And do you guys like map out your trip ahead of time? So in case somebody gets separated or whatever, they still know, which roads you're taking, which highways. And is it preferable to try to find like back roads if you're going to a certain place, or do you really pretty much stick to the highway?
Well, we try to stick to we try to stick to the highways, unless we're taking just a scenic ride. We just want to go ride
smaller
on
rides. Right. We do the back roads.
Yeah, if it's just something on a Saturday we want to go out and ride, it's going to be a scenic. But if we're going to a particular spot, then we try to stay on the interstate.
Do you ride other people, or you normally just ride like one person per bike?
Oh, if you have somebody, a significant other, or your child, or an associate, and they're more than happy to ride on the back.
Oh, okay. So that's not.
Yeah, there's no restrictions.
There's no restrictions to that. Okay, let's see if we can talk to Nita, I believe, in Virginia Beach.
Yes, hi. Thank you for taking my call today. I have a 22-year-old son who has wanted to ride a motorcycle since he was 18. I'm petrified that he will die in an accident or worse because of youth and inexperience. So I was wondering if you have any advice for me, or if there's a group that he can join that's like age appropriate for him.
That's a great question.
Yeah, the biggest thing is to go to one of your local safety riding classes where he can actually learn the basic fundamentals, the rules of the road, how to operate the bike properly, how to accelerate, how to stop, how to lean, how to turn. They teach you all of that in that class. Lady J spoke about it earlier. Harley Davidson does it. TCC. That would be your first place to start. As far as a actual club that he can join, I would be honest, I'm not familiar with a club of that age group that would be appropriate, just because I don't know a club of that age. But definitely going to the class and taking his time, choosing his bike wisely. You don't want to get something too big, too fast. It's kind of like buying your first car. You don't go out and buy a Corvette until you learn how to really drive. You might want to get that Volkswagen. So it's kind of the same thing with bikes. You really want to learn how to ride before you jump on the fastest bike out there.
Does that hopefully that helps you, Nita?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for the call. We appreciate it. Let's talk to Catherine Ann in Virginia Beach.
Hello.
Hi.
Good. How are you guys doing? So I'm Catherine Ann from We Are Bikers, where Bikers Unite. I am a humanitarian bike organization, and I just want to come on here real quick and just express to the public, the Buffalo Soldiers are just an amazing bike organization. Like, what you guys do is just inspiring beyond belief of how you unite the community, help the community. It's amazing. Like that event you guys had, 2 years ago, where everyone flooded Hampton Roads. Like, it was just awesome to see all you guys on the road. I'm in Georgia right now, going actually to a biker event. I just absolutely adore you guys. That's all you know.
Thank you.
That is so nice. Good luck to you, Catherine, and be safe. You have an event coming up in Hampton in a couple of weeks, do you not?
Yes, we have our annual hog roast that we have. It's our annual cookout that we have every year. We're having it this year, June the 8th, at 1 o'clock at Gosnell's Park in Hampton.
Is everybody invited?
Yep,
Everybody's
it's open to
invited.
the public.
That's
Open to the public. Is there a charge?
We take donations.
Yes. There you go. Okay.
And the food is awesome.
Yeah. And we always have a lot of food. Always have a lot of food. You'll never go away hungry.
And then the national convention is in
Mobile, Alabama this year.
Okay. And so what are the plans for your trip from here to Mobile?
Right now we're planning a 2-day trip. We're thinking about doing what they call an iron butt.
What's that mean?
That's 1,000 miles in 24 hours.
That's an iron butt.
So we're actually kind of putting that together right now. So we're going to ride from here. If we do it, we're going to ride from here to New Orleans nonstop in 24 hours.
Wow.
About 18 hours.
Oh, my goodness. Are you riding with them, Janice?
I'm not sure. I have an out-of-town trip planned, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it.
Yeah.
But I would love to, because the job that I retired from, our corporate offices in Mobile. So I have friends there that ride. Yeah.
Oh,
so it'd be great.
So tell me about the rain.
The rain.
Riding in the rain.
Oh, riding in the rain. It is what it is.
Not safe.
No, it's not. I mean, and if it's extremely bad, safety is always the first thing. So if we get caught in it while we're riding, if it's something that's kind of some sprinkles, we might keep riding for a little while. But if it seems like it's picking up or it's getting to, we pull off. We get to a safe place. We don't try to do under bridges and underpass because that's really not a safe place. There's been a lot of accidents where just from a car or a motorcycle. We had that a few years ago. We had some motorcycles on the side of the road and a tractor trailer actually hit.
Oh, wow.
So we try to actually get off of the highway and get to a safe location where we can put on rain gear and continue if necessary or weather permitting. If not, we just wait it out.
You just wait.
Yeah, we just wait it out.
Janice, you were telling me about a trip that you took when you were coming.
Yeah, it was my first a mother-daughter trip to Florida, to Daytona Beach. And on the way back, we rode back with some soldiers. We went down alone. We came back with some soldiers, and this one brother from the New Jersey chapter led us, and he's a hard butt. And so we hung in there, but it was raining so hard. I mean, you literally could not see the car next to you. It was a tractor trailer. That's how hard it was raining, but we did it. And that was my first initiation to
and you weren't scared?
No, actually it was exhilarating. I was I know it's like crazy, but I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing this. I couldn't believe I was doing it. To me, I don't know. It's exciting to me. I mean, I won't do it now, but I did it then.
But you did it then.
That was a few years ago.
Well, in preparing for today's show, we invited members of the Seven Cities Omens Motorcycle Club to join us, but they're on their way to Cleveland as we speak for their national roundup. So our Lisa Godley caught up with one of the group's officers before they hit the road and shared some insight into one of the country's oldest predominantly black motorcycle clubs.
Hello, I'm Jason Price. I'm with the Omens MC, Seven Cities, Virginia. I'm the Sergeant at Arms, and my ride name is Hustle Man.
Tell me a little bit about your organization. How large is it? How many members do you have?
Well, our organization started off in 1976 out of Cleveland, Ohio. We have chapters in 11 states. Exact numbers, can't give you that, but we are in the hundreds. And then we have a local chapter here in the Hampton Roads area.
Okay, so 1976, wouldn't that put you guys as one of the oldest predominantly black motorcycle clubs in the country?
Yes.
Okay.
Not the oldest, but one of the oldest, yes.
Cool. Now, is there a training or safety course that folks have to go through to be a member? Or what's the process if somebody says, I want to be a part of Seven Cities Motorcycle Club, the Omens? What would I have to do?
You have to own and operate your own motorcycle. You have to be licensed as well. Everything has to be above board, so you got to have your insurance. Then you will be considered a hang-around, so you would approach a member, introduce yourself. You get an opportunity to hang around the club to see if what we do is something you want to be a part of. Then after a period of hang-around, you would then express that you want to join the club, and then we will assign you a sponsor. You'll become a prospect, and then during your prospecting phase, that can be anywhere from 6 months to over a year. That depends on the individual. There's various things that you have to do as a prospect. You got to make a couple of rides with us, got to visit some of our other chapters, community work you have to do, get to know your local members as well as some of our national members. And then from there, if you're a good fit, we'll vote on you, and then we'll present you with your colors.
Are there things you could do to get kicked out?
Yes. We have rules and protocols. You're fighting members, if you're stealing, things like that.
Okay, I got you.
Or if you just break the law, period, because we're not law breakers. We're regular 9 to 5. We got families and things of that nature as well, so we don't want riffraff.
What's the furthest you've ridden as a group?
As a group, we've done a ride to Daytona.
Now, you all have something special happening this week. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
So our mother chapter up in Cleveland, Ohio, every year this weekend is what we call Breakout. So this is when all of our chapters will make our pilgrimage ride, and we'll ride up to Cleveland, Ohio, and we'll just have fellowship. We'll show our colors, show our numbers, have barbecue, have a party. Then we get back on our bikes on Sunday and we head on back home.
Is it mostly socializing, or is there a community service aspect to your organization as well?
So we do community service. Since we have members from each one of the cities here in the area, we kind of do a round robin of our community efforts. Last year, we sponsored a school, elementary school in Portsmouth, where we gave school supplies, and then we put a couple of $100 on a couple of kids' lunch accounts so that they can have food, so they never have to go hungry. And then we do the food bank, and then around Christmas, Thanksgiving time, we'll donate turkeys. We have sponsored families before where a few of our members went to church. They got a couple of names, family name members, and we bought the whole spread for them so they wouldn't have to buy or miss the Thanksgiving or Christmas meal.
Very nice. What are your, or maybe it's your group's biggest safety concerns when you're on the road?
Other drivers, folks not paying attention. Negligence of the ones that are on four wheels, just not paying attention. We've had a lot of accidents where folks have drifted into motorcycle lanes because they just don't see them, or jumping the light, things of that nature. So we need everybody that's in the cars and their vehicles just to look out for us. That's all.
Thank you, Hustle Man, so much for giving me some time today. You guys have a safe ride to Cleveland.
Thank you.
Wow. You could hear it going, right? You can't wait to get out there. Have either one of you been involved in an accident throughout your riding career? No, you haven't. No, neither one. God, oh, that's a blessing. So we got about 2 minutes left. What would you want to tell the audience in terms of either perception about bike riders or if they're interested in riding? What do you want to tell them, Janice?
I would say if you're interested in riding, no matter what the age, just do it. Just do it. You know, you have one life to live, so you got to live it. That's it.
And how do you deal with the spouse that says, "Are you crazy?"
Well, I don't have one. So. You know? Maybe that's why I don't have one.
I don't know. And Spoon, what do you want to tell people?
Enjoy the ride. I mean, I just enjoy riding. The perception part of it is, from a Buffalo Soldier standpoint, is we stand for the community, we stand for safe riding, and we stand for the history of the Buffalo Soldiers.
Mm-hmm. I heard you said it, and I also heard in the piece that Lisa did, showing your colors. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? Is there some kind of ceremony, or does it just mean wearing your outfit, mm-hmm. wearing your colors?
Yep.
There. That's very cool. And I love how the swords cross. Mm-hmm. Yes. On your head. I'm looking at his the Buffalo Soldiers insignia, I guess, mm-hmm. that is on your hat now. So that's a real point of pride, because I see the smile. You should see the smile on his face. That is great. That is great. So, Lady J, where are you going? What's the next place that you're off to?
I think the next place I'm going, I'll be going back to Jersey on my bike. I'm going to do a trip there. Mm-hmm. So that's the only thing I have planned unless I go to Mobile.
Okay.
That's the biggest trips.
All righty. Lady J and Spoon, thank you so much for sharing with us today. We appreciate it. And thank you, audience, so much for joining us for today's Another View. You can listen to this show again or any of our past programs at anotherviewradio.org, or you can find us on Spotify or anywhere that you go for your podcast listening pleasure. Next week on Another View, the true story behind the race riot aboard the USS Kitty Hawk during the Vietnam War. It's an Another View history lesson. Our theme music is an original composition created especially for Another View by Jay Sennett. Lisa Godley is our show producer. Jordan Christie is our audio engineer, and Dr. Barry Graham answered our phones. Danielle Saunders answered our phones. I'm Barbara Ham Lee. Enjoy your weekend, and let's get together again next Thursday at noon for Another View.
Support comes from Hampton Roads Community Foundation, carrying out your charitable wishes forever, whether it's helping shelter animals, feeding the homeless, enhancing the arts, or supporting students. Learn more at leaveabequest.org.